Hi, my name is Sarah Nance, and this is my introduction for Module 1 for EDL 853. A little bit about myself. I live in Centennial, Colorado, which is a south suburb of Denver. I graduated in 2010 from Colorado Mesa University with my bachelor's in English and secondary ed. I currently teach at Eagle Crest High School, which is the third largest school in the state. We have about 2,700 students who attend. It's part of the Cherry Creek School District, which serves about 50,000 families, and it's the largest in the state. Excuse me. I'm an English teacher. I teach 9th grade English and also AP Lang for juniors. This is my 8th year teaching. I'm also a volleyball coach. I sponsor National English Honor Society, and I am the leader for the 9th grade team for the RPLCs. I've been married for a little bit over 2 years. That's my husband, Adam, and we are dog lovers, although we don't currently have a dog, mostly because I just gave birth to our first daughter exactly 1 month ago today, and her name is Jane. And so I'm on my maternity leave for the next 12 weeks, so I'll be doing some classes for Fort Hays when she sleeps. So to reflect on my school as far as special education, we have we call it the SAS department, which is Student Achievement Services Department. We have 33 employees, so those are caseworkers, paras, teachers, and liaisons. I would say as far as the materials that they have access to distribute to classroom teachers is a little bit departmentalized or compartmentalized in the sense that it's not very mainstream. It's not widespread throughout the school. So that we do have assistive technology, for example, for a material, but not widely available. For example, when students need to retake tests, or they need to take tests in more quiet environments, they have to go across the school to the SAS department. It's just not part of our culture, really, that it's integrated as smoothly. So just like as far as the convenience of where students go to complete some of the tasks. And I would say that most classroom teachers don't necessarily have kind of a tool bag of strategies to help to use, I guess, for students with special needs. So for example, if an IEP says to break complex tasks into simple tasks for a student, I would say that personally, and then for other teachers, that's just not necessarily specific enough, and we have a hard time. I know I personally have a hard time kind of deciphering what that means for the student for the task, and that goes on to other language such as provide directions in several different ways. It just seems kind of vague, and so as far as like how it operates in our district and at my school, I feel that the strategies that are there to implement awarding from IEPs and 504s is a little vague. To continue, we do have a strong culture of inclusion. We have a lot of different clubs such as Peer Buddies and unified sports teams that include students with special needs into more mainstream activities. They obviously are in our mainstream classes, and we also have courses for students who need a different pace, like a reading class or a writing class or a math skills class or whatever it may be. I think our staff is very positive about being able to being willing to help students with special needs and attending meetings. We also have one staff meeting per year in which the SAS department presents to us about measures, laws, and what they do and how they help support students. Personally, I guess I would just sum this up in that it's hard, but I do my best. I think I have an average of about 5 students per classroom of 30 who have documented needs. Personally, I would like to develop students advocating for themselves. There's not a ton of training also on how to best equitably serve students with disabilities. We're kind of just told to do it, and not a whole lot of support, I guess, or training on specifically how we can make the experience for those students just as enriching and rewarding as it is for any other student. And like I was speaking earlier, as far as strategies about how to best utilize those materials, again, we're just kind of told to do it, but not specifically strategies for grading and holding students accountable, how to involve parents of students with special needs, keeping everything straight when a student has 20 plus listed documented needs or accommodations. Attending all the meetings and reevaluations can get kind of heavy. And then how do you discipline students, especially with emotional disorders, and then developing a culture of respect. So personally, I've tried my best to do all these things, and we just kind of get through it. And, I think that as a administrator looking towards the future about how I would want to support my staff, it would be to develop their skills in those areas. Obviously, funding is always going to be an issue. Really, I wish the biggest thing here on this slide that I wanted to point out is just having staff. I really wish our students could have one-to-one or at least a little bit better ratio. Most of our case managers and teachers have 25 plus students to manage in addition to teaching their own courses for special ed. So it becomes cumbersome for them and then cumbersome for the other teachers. Obviously, I think it would be great if we had more funding for more assistive technology like text to speech, or leveled books or classrooms and just actual physical space for students who have needs. We don't really necessarily have that, and that all comes down to funding. My proposal would be the training part, the specific strategies that non-SAS teachers can implement effectively to help students. That would be really something that I would champion as an administrator. So IEP language and implementing it effectively, not just here it's on this little tab as part of our, our Power School. Here's the tab for the student and here are their documented needs, now do it. How do we specifically train teachers to implement those measures effectively? Developing student advocacy skills, I think, would be something that I would want to train and work on. And then, for example, teachers who have found success in managing IEPs and 504s and all of it, and differentiation, of course, how did they do it, and what tools and classroom management policies did they implement that made that so effective? Student interviews about teachers who were effective in that, I think, would be really important. Parent interviews, case studies for teachers to study and use as they implement it into their own classrooms. I think hiring of highly qualified, experienced SAS teachers would always be something that as an administrator I'd be looking at. And then I think reducing the stigma of students with special needs. And really this is just a personal thing. I think that students in our classrooms think that everybody learns the same and everybody is the same. And we don't really live in a world that supports that theory. And so I would want to maybe champion some sort of initiative in which we kind of talk about it and talk about our own limitations. We all have them. I do too. How can we be more human about it to reduce bullying and increase the positive culture of a school or a classroom? I have students with autism who have trouble expressing themselves, and other students just kind of brush them off or bully them, and it'd just be nice to be able to talk about it without fear of, breaking a law or something. That could be meaning a partnering of students with and without special needs, so that students feel like they have a buddy within the class that they could go to, not necessarily always feeling like they have to go to the teacher if there's a problem. So kind of vague, but I think with some more thought, that would be something that I would want to propose or work on as a school administrator. Thanks so much for watching, and I'm really looking forward to this class.